Hey everyone, Music Fan 108 back here again, and it's been a while since I've done a review and a video. And today I was listening to something that I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do a review on this release because I haven't seen too much talk about it. So, and I'm gonna be reviewing Destroyer Resurrected by Kiss, of course. This was released in 2012. And it was to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Destroyer. Actually, the 35th anniversary would have been in 2011, but this came out in 2012. And Bob Ezrin in 2011 wanted to do something for, like I said, the 35th anniversary of Destroyer, and he asked Gene and Paul about it, and they were okay with it and fine with it too. So he basically went back to the album and, you know, kind of went back to check it out, to look it over and make something out of it again, like to celebrate the 35th anniversary. And this is the product, Destroyer Resurrected, and it's basically like a remix, kind of another way of Bob wanted to make the album, pretty much, adding more, something a little different, like some more effects, some more certain notes, certain things in the mix. And and it came out in August 2012. This is my copy that I've had since. I remember buying this at HMV in February of 2013 in, I can't remember which mall in Edmonton, but I don't remember if it was West Edmonton Mall or Kingsway Mall or whatever. But yeah, I bought it at HMV and I knew it was out. I was like, oh, Destroyer Resurrected, I'll get it, because I heard it was out, and I was like, gotta get it. And like I said, it's like an updated, new mix Destroyer. And what's cool about this edition is it brings Ace Frehley's original guitar solo for Sweet Pain that was never available before this. Because if you don't know, on the song Sweet Pain, Ace Frehley does not do the guitar solo on the song. It's Dick Wagner, because Ace Frehley was playing a card game and was too busy doing the card game, didn't want to come to the sessions and do the solo, so they got Dick Wagner to do it, who was the guitarist in Alice Cooper's band. And the thing is, Ace didn't find out till after the album was out that that's not his solo. He said when he heard it, he was like, I didn't play that, and he knew it wasn't him, which is funny. But yeah, that's the thing about this, is it brings Ace Frehley's solo, which is great. It's sad it wasn't used on the original release, right? But what can you do? But it's a great release. It's like, I can't say if I prefer it to the original mix of Destroyer, but I can't say it's better either. Like, it's pretty good. It's a good version and a good mix. I like what Bob did to it. The thing about the disc is pretty cool. It looks like a vinyl. And look, the has the Casablanca records on it, the logo, and it pretty much looks like a vinyl. And it's gold. See, I always like that design. And under the CD, there's a picture there of Kiss walking down the streets of New York in 1976 in the Destroyer costumes. It's a classic picture of Kiss. And the booklet too is pretty cool. There on the back it says "Shout It Out Loud," of course, in the Kiss Army logo. In the booklet too, there's a track listing and the lyrics for Detroit Rock City there on the front page. And here's notes from Bob Ezrin. He talks about how the release came to be and info, and there's picture of Bob with Kiss in the studio. Pretty sure that's early '76 there when they were recording the album, of course. And more pages with more notes and info from Bob Ezrin himself, and another picture of them in the studio. And there's a classic picture of Kiss again in '76 in the full Destroyer era costumes. And on the sides here you got the singles for this side. This one's Detroit Rock City, and that one's the single for Flamin' Youth, which is cool. There's more notes, info, and another picture of Kiss on Harleys there. Pretty cool. More info, and here's the end of it, the end of the notes by Bob Ezrin, which was done in June 2012. Another picture of Kiss and a poster and flyer for the Spirit of '76 tour, which was the Destroyer tour, and there's credits, and there's the original album cover, which I haven't talked about yet, so I'll get to that right now. As you see the Destroyer Resurrected cover, it's different than the original cover, as you've seen, and here's the original cover, the CD '97 remaster. That's the original cover, as you see, with the more lighter background with the sky bluer, and even the costumes. Those are the Destroyer costumes. Where Resurrected has a different background, it's more redder, orange, and darker a little bit, and then the costumes here they have are the Dress to Kill and Alive costumes they wore in 1975. And the cover art was done by Ken Kelly, who also ended up doing the Love Gun album cover 2 years the next year. But yeah, this was the original cover, but it was shelved. And you even see it in the Kiss My Ass home video, which if you own that home video, there's a part of the home video where Gene shows you this cover, like in the painting of it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. The original and Resurrected. But yeah, let me talk more about this. Like I said, it's a different mix than the original. The original is like more. The original mix is more polished. Like, to me, in my opinion, it's like a polished album and masterpiece, of course. Because as we all know, the first three Kiss albums were. The first album, Hotter Than Hell and Dress to Kill, they were very raw. They weren't, it was just Kiss being Kiss to the bare bone. They were raw. Where Destroyer, Bob Ezrin produced, and he was a big producer. He did a lot of the Alice Cooper albums, and this is the product. It was Destroyer. It's more, compared to the first three albums, it's more polished and more mature, production. But the Resurrected version, for me, it's not as polished, in my opinion. It gives it more closer to a rawer sound and approach for me. It's a cool thing about the Resurrected mix. And also with the Resurrected mix, like I said, there's lots of things that are added in and that aren't present in the original mix at all. Like Detroit Rock City, for example, it starts off the same, but when the song kicks in, you can hear the difference in the original mix. This one's more, and plus Peter Criss's drums on this are more like boom. They're more in your face, and they're booming. You can hear his kick drum a little more, like it's up in the mix. And yeah, the guitars sound a little more crunchier too. And that thing about Detroit Rock City and the Resurrected mix, the car crash at the end, and the car crash at the end in the Resurrected mix, there's a big bam, like a boom, that's not in the original mix. Like, you can hear him actually crash his car in the Resurrected mix, and it's loud boom. You hear that in this, and it's not in the original mix, and it's pretty cool that they added that, because I think it's cool to hear that. You know, it adds to it, like when you hear the car crash. And then when it goes into King of the Nighttime World, in the Resurrected mix, you hear glass break and scatter everywhere, and then you hear Ace's, you know, feedback, and then going into the song, and it's great. And then God of Thunder too, Peter's drums sound more heavier and boom, like louder, and just has that boom vibe, like I said. And this one, and it's great. But on this one, the kids aren't out of the mix; they're still in the mix on this one. And Great Expectations on the Resurrected, the drums, the kick drum on this one is more up front and louder than in the original mix. And Flamin' Youth, interestingly enough, on this one is there's a second on the Flamin' Youth on here in the first 5 seconds or 6 seconds of the beginning of the song, and one of the parts it skips, like near the end before they get into the song, it skips, and it was always like that on my CD. Like when I bought it brand new, it was like that, and I was thought, that's weird. And even on iTunes and Apple Music version of this, it skips at that same part, and I'm just wondering if anyone out there knows, or is it skip on every version? Does it skip on your version as well, or every version you've owned? Because I always wondered that. Because did they ever fix that or correct it or what? Because like I said, it's like that too, even on the iTunes version, Apple Music, and even YouTube. Like it's like that skips there. So was that ever fixed on any version, like the vinyl version or updated CD copies or whatever? Because like I said, I bought this in February 2013, and it was brand new. It was there in stock at HMV, and yeah, and that skips there, and it's weird. But nonetheless, it's a great song, great version. And then they have Sweet Pain has Ace's solo, which is great. Shout out loud, Beth. Do You Love Me? And Do You Love Me has the drums, the snare sounds different. It sounds more live and more tougher and crunchier, harder than the original mix. Like in the beginning of Do You Love Me with the, you know, the drumming in the first 8 seconds before Paul comes in. I like that about this one. That's the thing I prefer. I prefer how the snare sounds on Do You Love Me on this one than the original. And then Beth, on this one, you can hear you can hear acoustic guitar in the version of Beth on Resurrected that's not on the original mix. So I thought that was kind of cool. And like I said, bonus track, you have Sweet Pain's original guitar solo, and that is Dick Wagner. That's the version, because they put Ace's solo as track 6 of the Sweet Pain in the album. They put Ace's, and then as the bonus track, you get Dick Wagner's, the original one. So, but yeah, it's pretty cool. But overall, Destroyer Resurrected, I like it a lot. I'm glad it came out. And sometimes when I put on Destroyer, I'll play this one first, because, you know, it's cool to see the approach and to see and hear the approach that Bob did with this, like to, you know, kind of revisit it, remake it in a way, right? And then see how it stands out now. And it's a good one. It's a good version. I like Destroy Resurrected, and if you don't own this, I recommend getting it, because it really is great. And like I said, to me, this version to me is not as polished as the original. It gives it kind of more of a rawness approach. Like I said, it's more closer than more polished and produced. And it's not a bad thing that the original is like more polished, because it's a great album at the end of the day. But that's kind of like the difference for me with Resurrected and the original. But yeah, I wanted to review this for a while now, so I finally did, and if you don't own this, get this version because it's really good. I like Destroyer Resurrected, and good notes, and the mix is pretty cool. So, yeah. And is Destroyer my favorite Kiss album? No, it's not. My favorite Kiss album is Rock and Roll Over, which I think is their best album too. And yeah. But Destroyer, it's a classic. What can you say? I love all the songs on it. Detroit Rock City, classic. King of the Nighttime World, great song. Classic. God of Thunder, great song. Probably Gene's most famous song, right? Even though he didn't write it, Paul wrote God of Thunder, which there's a demo on the Kiss box set of Paul singing it, which you can hear. But Bob Ezrin, of course, he's the one who decided you should give it to Gene because it fits him more. And of course, it became Gene's most famous song for, you know, the Spitting Blood before it, and then yeah, Great Expectations I always loved, even though I know a lot of people hate that song, but I love it. Still a good song, even though it would be my least favorite on the album as well. Flamin' Youth is a fun song. Sweet Pain, in my opinion, is an underrated Gene song. It doesn't get that much mention, of course, because Gene, everyone talks about Gene's greatest songs, like Deuce is up there, you know, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, God of Thunder, Calling Dr. Love, I Love It Loud. Sweet Pain doesn't get mentioned as much, but I always love Sweet Pain. It's a great song. Shout It Out Loud, of course, is a classic. Beth, which saved this album, because at first this album didn't do too well, but then once the DJs, because Detroit Rock City was the single, and once the DJs flipped, because the B-side was Beth, and then the radio DJs and disc jockeys, they flipped the vinyl over and started playing Beth, and Beth, all of a sudden everyone started playing Beth. You couldn't go anywhere without hearing it. And then everyone, and more people were even going out to buy this album, like your 65-year-old grandma, your sister, your cousin. And then Beth won the People's Choice Award too for best song of the year. But yeah, Beth. I know a lot of people hate it, but I love it. It's a great song. It's a beautiful ballad. And then of course Do You Love Me ends it, which is a great song. Underrated classic. But yeah, Destroyer Resurrected, like I said, if you don't own it, get it, because it's a good, more raw, more crunchier version and mix of Destroyer. Like, it's a great release. And that's my review of Destroyer Resurrected. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna try to do more videos and reviews as much as I can. I'm sorry I haven't been on as much because, you know, life gets in the way sometimes. So, but yeah, thank you all for watching. Have a good night. Take care. Bye.